you have to continue to show up if you're going to play this longevity game, right? Because stopping is the fastest way to slow your body.
And I understand as a guy that was looking for conversations, it's fortunate that I fell upon School of Life and Jordan Peterson conversations with you, as opposed to that community, because both of them would have given me the same sort of influence, the same kind of satisfaction, but long-term would have given me incredibly different outcomes.
And so I remember I was like, I'll go with you, dude. And it's a tiny act where that sacrifice gains respect from the whole group because that micro benefits everybody else for not having to go through it. And so when you are in a new organization, this is the operation for respect. You sacrifice yourself in a way that benefits the whole, in a way that is visible.
You are running out of time. That's a real thing. Oh, I don't like hustle culture because of urgency. Okay, well then don't listen to it and just go live your life. This ain't for everybody. It's not for everybody. Winning and greatness and building shit and becoming who the you're supposed to be, it's rare.
It's like, I think I get up in the morning and there's like this narrow path, and on either side it's just like whoosh, down to no productivity, nothing useful in life. And one side is drama, other people's drama.
Yeah.
And the other side is just numbing out.
Yeah.
And you gotta walk this really narrow path.
And that capacity that could in one context be a terrible force for evil can, in the proper context, be the most potent force for good. A good man has to be formidable. And partly what that means, as far as I can tell, is that you have to be able to say no.
Well, and people say, well, in combat, of course, you'd never get complacent. No, absolutely. People get complacent in combat. So when that adrenaline runs out, you have to have the discipline to say, oh, I'm getting my corner. I need to take a knee to lower my profile, period, end of story. I gotta follow the protocols no matter what.
Give me what you got, even if you don't think it's good enough, even if you think it's a stupid idea, even if you think give me what you got. The power of that, I saw over and over at NASA. It's not just one type of mind, not just one person that's gonna solve the problem.
The worst thing that could ever happen to any human being is they become civilized. It's that total accountability. Like even when you retire, there's a mother looking at me and judging me right now, man. I was the baddest person to ever live. It doesn't go away, man. You gotta wake up, even though you retired, you never retired.
But then you get someone who has all the things, and that's how you get a Michael Jordan. You get someone who has physical talent, genetic gifts, the mind for it, discipline, consistent work ethic, and then you get greatness.
This happens on every mountain. So it happens on your first mountain and it happens on your second mountain. Like if you've achieved some level of success that everyone around you deems as successful enough by their standards, not yours, when you pursue the next summit, all of it begins again. The machine begins again.
You can choose the attitude that you want to have. I did not have a single placement goal. I did not have a time goal. Those were my goals, to have a better attitude at the finish line. If I choose to be grateful to the experience itself, I'm going to perform better no matter what. Why can't I be the one leading? Why not just take what I've earned?
It feels like duty is pushed from the back, whereas love is pulled from the front. Love pulls you forwards, whereas duty can kind of push you.
Sure, I mean, it's not unreasonable to say that love entices. I don't think duty entices. Duty might torment, and love entices.
They were hollow, but there's so many people that are chasing that. There's so many people who see that as their primary source of value, and other people's heads are a wretched place for your self-worth to live. Absolutely wretched. You're constantly taking your sense of self-worth as an abstraction of what other people think about you.
Everyone can get motivated for a moment. It's just like people feel motivated, but like motivation is incredibly ephemeral, right? It vanishes. And that's why creating the conditions that make failure less likely is so important, because if we can make successful actions the most likely actions, success becomes the most likely outcome.
As the cognitive scientist Daniel Willingham says, you may think your brain is made for thinking, but it's actually made for preventing you from having to think whenever possible. It wants to be lazy. And so if you have tons of options, you will just go down total freedom. You'll just go down what's called the path of least resistance. You'll do something you've seen before or that's easy or convenient. If that's blocked, that's the only time you can start being creative.
It's not about lives, but it's about livelihoods. Right. And you've got people that are relying on you to succeed and win. And again, sure, you get killed in combat. That's obviously the worst thing that can happen. But if you lose your job, or your people lose their jobs. I mean, people kill themselves all the time when they make bad business decisions. It's that much pressure.
I'm fat and I'm insecure. You have to face that in that dark room. In that dark room is who you are. But in that dark room is where you have to create another human being that walks out of that dark room to face who you are. That's the only way you're gonna get over all those things.
Nobody tried to prove they were right. They put forward their points, but they were like, here's a way of looking at that. Assess it. And they were also doing it genuinely. It's like, this is what I've concluded about, say, this story. And I'm going to make a case for it, but I'd like to hear what you have to say, because maybe you can change it. You can.
No, the human factor will always be present. Your mindset, how you think, and your ability to communicate, and developing a community of collaborative, achievement-driven, supportive relationships. Having people around you that you can learn from, that you can grow from.
And so people that got this full run, man, be thankful that they got that full run. And right now, if you're a dude and you're 22 years old and you feel like you're directionless, get your shit together, man, and go start making things happen.
And you have to first be uncomfortable with how you feel about yourself. With that voice that a lot of us like to run away from, we all have it. We all have that voice that say, hey man, you're kind of wimping out right now. You're kind of being a little punk right now. But a lot of us say, okay, that's okay. It's okay to tell these little white lies to ourselves. So we first have to face the real you.
Because as soon as you do that, you agree to adopt wholesale all of the views of the group. And as soon as you begin to deviate, that's seen as a lack of commitment by your side and a chink in your armor by the other side. So it doesn't allow you to be a person. It doesn't allow you to fit into the very unique shape that your life is supposed to take.
I'd rather have somebody that I've got to dial back than someone I got to dial up. You got to bring this pace and this urgency and this intensity to your mission that I think people underestimate because of social media.
Unspoken expectations are premeditated resentments. Like, why didn't you do this thing that I didn't tell you to do?
Yeah, probably not deliberately, because I think a lot of people do it not on purpose.
Of course, but it's unconscious premeditated resentment.
Yeah.
The investment that you are making will be a resentment in future that you aren't aware is about to come about.
Yeah.
It's everything in its proper place is the answer to that. We might think that our life would be easier without fear, let's say. We might say that our life would be easier without anger or pain. But the truth of the matter is that those things are beneficial, even though they can cause great suffering, but they have to be in their proper place.
So there's an intensity there, but having so much pressure and so much at stake, when it goes away, it's definitely leaves a hollow, empty space inside.
But it's also a view that kind of blinds you to the fact that technology is the most human activity, right? We're making tools for ourselves. How we use them, how we adopt them, how we regulate them, those are going to have big influences. AI is more self-directed than most technologies, but we still have a lot of agency over what happens next.
Every day you have to do this because why? When you stop doing it, you don't just maintain it. If you stop shooting a gun, you're not going to be a great shot if you pick a gun up a year from now. The only way to keep from getting rusty is to constantly oil that the machine. The machine is this. You got to keep challenging it every day.
They don't want misogyny. They don't want abuse. They don't want all those awful things that come with it. They don't want people that have a genuine disdain for women. But traditionally, masculinity was always like having a respect for women, having a respect for your mother, having respect, being a protector and a provider.
Yes.
But I think once you have a very clear path to getting what you want, it's like, okay, how do I remove everything that prevents me from getting it?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Not in a self-aggrandizing way. I am flawed too, but I'm just saying, it helps.
It is true that more dreams are destroyed by distraction than incompetence.
So to begin with, I always I don't even like the verb find, even though that's what everybody uses.
Yeah.
It's more like develop a purpose or cultivate a purpose in your life.
You can easily and unfortunately find yourself in a situation where all you have in front of you are a variety of bad options. That's partly why, if you have any sense, you try to conduct yourself very carefully in life, because you don't want to be in a position where you've made so many mistakes that all the options left to you are terrible.
So you're gonna act like an idiot. And I said, man, just go up and expect that what she's gonna say is when you say hi to her, hopefully she'll say hi back, and maybe she won't, and if she doesn't, no big deal. That's where you set the bar. And that's gonna make you, it's gonna make you perform a lot better in that scenario.
I go up there and God looks at me and he shows me my chart. And my chart on there says you were supposed to be a Navy SEAL. You're supposed to weigh 185 pounds. You're supposed to be one of the smartest people on the planet, this, all this. You see this. And now you're in heaven, you made it to heaven, but you're like, God, Doug, I was supposed to live that life.
And the reason why it was free is because I spent millions and millions and millions of dollars trying to solve my own issue. And when I could solve it myself, I was just angry at the system that was teaching me that I needed somebody else. So at the time, I'm like, no, I'm gonna make it free to everybody.
That is the price that you pay to have that degree of greatness. It's a onesie, right? It's not an outfit that you can pick little different bits about. You don't get to choose one element of someone and say, I want that. It's no. All of these externalities, all of the things that you really don't want, they came along for the ride as well. And
it's we have determined that feeling bad is bad, but feeling bad is not bad. Feeling bad is a signal so that we need to change. Because if no one feels bad ever, then it means that everyone is doing what they want to do all the time, and that is not how a functioning society works. Sometimes people do stupid shit and need to know and feel bad for it.
I think it's sort of technically true in that the best parts of yourself make themselves manifest. If you want to think about it that way, the best parts of yourself, whatever that means, make themselves manifest when you're contending actively and voluntarily with the most difficult challenges. Why wouldn't it be that way?
But this only works if you take care of yourself, which means you prepare yourself ahead of time, you give yourself rest after time, you maintain healthy connected spaces in your life, you have meaningful and purposeful activities in your life. You have to give yourself permission to live a whole life if you're going to keep participating in those spaces.
There is a spectrum of human beings.
And you're on this extreme edge of exactly what you want when you have an army. If you put together a military force, you want a guy like you that has that attitude. You don't want a guy who's going to the worst place in the world and saying, why me?
I had no body armor. I had no callus. So when life came at me, I ran, I tucked. I lived in the fetal position trying to get away from life. I wasn't protected. I didn't protect myself. I had nothing. So I started realizing I gotta form an armor.
I think for a long time I'd judged the value of my work based on how other people interpreted it. So I'd outsourced my sense of self-worth to everybody else. I was playing a role, right? And it's kind of like I didn't feel love, I only ever felt praise.
That's nihilism, man. Suffering is one thing. Being aware that you're suffering is kind of meaningless. That's what nihilism is. And that's what can be brought out if you study something you're not passionate about, and then it gets hard. Because you've got this double whammy of the meaninglessness plus the difficulty.
But so many of us are stuck exactly there.
There's definitely a unique value in the future is long and broad, that has a quality all of its own, that is only available to people that are young. Right? That is not nothing.
You're comparing yourself with them on, but you could make an incremental improvement over your current state, regardless of the direction that you're aiming. And it is the case, and this is a law, the return on incremental improvement is exponential or geometric and not linear.
I'm like, I never had a high point of leadership. I was always trying to learn. I was always trying to figure out what I was doing wrong and what mistakes I was making. Because if you don't do that, that's something I learned from jiu-jitsu. If you don't do that, then you're going to get passed by, and other people are going to figure some new way of doing it, and you're going to be left in the dark.
Stop
tolerating mediocrity. You have to detest mediocrity in your life. And you have to understand the only way you're going to meet yourself is through pain and suffering. And if you can become a master of suffering, the things that you can do with your life are truly unlimited.
And so every one of the things that I'm going to tell you to try saying to yourself, just see how it feels. See how these 7 things start to change the settings in your mind and help you sleep at night and help you double down on what is true. What's true is you are capable. That's what's true.
Yeah, and it wasn't like I was like a Disney star or something, so it wasn't like on a big scale. It was small, but I made decent money, and I mean for a kid. And I saved it up, and then when I was 12, I bought my first grand piano with the money I'd saved up.
There's not a interview that does not have the question, what are you currently learning? And I just sit and wait. And watching people have perplexity with that question or can't get the answer to that question is an indicator to me on how well they're going to fit into our environment.
No, enjoy, but bring others along with you. It's not me versus you, it's me with you, and enjoy the game. We're going to take this headset off anyway, so let's do this thing together.
And when you think about just the sheer effort of making this, and if one person this up, this whole project's ruined because you're not building it. You're carving it out of the mountain. You can't recarve. And they did it perfectly.
It's just a simple example to show, wow, our brain is seeing one thing. We got to maintain memory and cognition, and creatine can help maintain some of those factors. So
I believe that God has given me a gift, but then I've done my part. I believe the two come together. Not everybody believes that, but the core belief is that there's a gift. You may have developed it, you may have been born with it, it's probably some combination of those things, and the gift is probably going to get stronger when you put yourself out there.
I had to close the door with a bungee cord across my thing. It was like my combination seatbelt, because if I took the right turn, the door would open. The door would just wing open. Now I'm in a car that's what I paid for, with comedy, not drugs.
It's boring. It's boring. And it feels like you're running in circles, but if you step back a little bit, actually what you're doing is you're kind of like climbing the spiral staircase, but you're looking at it from the top a little bit, and it looks like you're just kind of running in a circle.
Yeah. And when that happens, there are all kinds of problems with it. Number one, we will start to fade. Just in terms of our mental abilities, our creativity, our decision-making, our thinking, our attention to detail, all our executive functioning will start to decline seriously throughout the day because we're just grinding.
There's like a fine line between mental toughness and just being able to see the big picture and go, it's actually smart to not be tough here. And it's not to deny my toughness. I got to know that I am tough and have confidence in my toughness enough to give my body a break and rest myself.
So this practice aligns your body and mind. You're now bringing them both together so that they can be collaborative partners for the day, rather than live in this stress and tension the whole day, competing for your energy and your attention.
And maybe that thing can't be your main thing right now, but if you're making space in your day to do some of that every day, you will get so much fuel as you prosecute the other stuff for now.
I think the final one is probably be open, right? Be open to other people, be resilient, listen to what other people have to say. Everybody's got some good ideas, right? Be open to the new ideas and see if you can, make them part of your life.
Yeah. I was working 130 to 133 hours a week. I was falling asleep at stoplights. I was an asshole to work for. Because everything was about how do I achieve enough to get over the insecurities as a young man that I felt that I wasn't good enough, which is the primary fear we have.
Well, there's a tiny chance, absolutely minuscule chance, that I might not make it off the operating thing.
This month?
Yeah, this month. And if that were the case, this would be the last time I've spoken about myself, my work, my life, challenges I faced, in an open forum like this. And I choose to do that. And
for me and for so many scientists that I know, trying to measure something and having it not work just kind of ticks me off. And I am not going to let the universe in my lab or whatever beat me. And, you know, some people, they, you know, if the thing breaks, it's like, oh man, that didn't work. And a lot of people, well, I'm going to go home. I'm fed up. No, it would just kind of make me mad. And I'd put more effort into it. And
normally we had to generate the missions. So you got to work for the missions. You got to look for the missions. You got to find the gaps. You got to find the opportunities. You got to look where people are struggling. Figure out who needs help. And then go into those areas, lean into those areas, get active. And eventually you'll find your mission and get it done.
Grown up, indoctrinated basically with all the messaging of hustle, work hard, and I still hold those values whilst also knowing that they play into something that's much bigger, right? And I haven't come to those decisions based on converting to Christianity or anything else. It's just through empirical observation of the world, looking at who's happy, who's not.
I've been rewarded throughout my entire life. If I work harder, things get better. Which means that if this isn't working, I just need to work harder. It's a challenge. And guess what? To the people that listen to Modern Wisdom, challenges are their fucking thing.
Yeah, is it ever?
They're the sort of people that eat challenges for breakfast. Unfortunately, they are applying a noble mindset to the wrong environment.
So here's the key. If you want your life to have no meaning, make sure that there's no boredom moment to moment, but that day to day and week to week and month to month, life is boring. That's what you're actually going for. As opposed, if you want your life to be really meaningful, make sure you got plenty of boredom moment to moment, and then your life won't be boring at all.
That's a strange paradox.
But the one thing that I can control is how fucking hard I go and how well I control the things that are within my control. And I am willing to bet that there are very few people on this motherfucking planet that are more in control of those things than I am. And that's when I say, like, hey, you might be beating me today, but this is temporary. You should enjoy it today, because eventually I'm going to pass you, because I understand who I am now.
Believe that you're going to get to a place where you truly believe that nobody cares how you look, and like, you love the person that you are regardless of how you actually look. So yeah, just believe, do the right thing and believe that it'll get you to a place that you want to be.
I volunteered to be the program director. I volunteered to be the production manager. I volunteered to do commercials. I volunteered to do editorials. They didn't pay me for that. You provide more service than you get paid for. Why did I do that? Because I was developing myself.
Very few people are actually set up to just hammer and hammer and hammer and hammer and never know if it's actually going to materialize. That is a fucking special kind of person. That's a special kind of mental toughness, and not everybody's equipped for that.
So without intervention, they're falling back on old habits, on what they learned at the feet of their parents or caretakers, which didn't work. So, nobody takes relationships 101 in high school. You gotta learn different ways of talking to one another.
Everything worthwhile is uphill all the way. And people just get weary in well-doing. They get weary of the grind. I get that. Find ways to have nourishment in your life, but don't let the off-ramp be a finish line to stop growing.
That's what people do. They keep pushing off life. They keep grinding and working hard. And let me just invest now. And let me just push more. And let me just sacrifice more of my life now so I can achieve and reach things. So at some vague, unclear time in the future, I'll be able to enjoy the fruits of my labor. We always kick the can down the road and keep pushing ourselves.
It's a metaphor for life. So for decades, I would work, didn't miss a day of work in 26 years, never called in sick once. Always get my miles in, always get my work done. I was leading the crews. People relied on me to be a good leader. I had to be there. I'd still put in this work. I would not get any sleep. My body was so depleted. I still did everything I needed to do at the highest level I could. Turns out the highest level I could, given those circumstances, was a 250 marathon.
And to be honest, I think that's where I get my work ethic from, is watching my mum just work so hard at life when it wasn't really handing her out any favors, or it wasn't giving her the best opportunities, or it wasn't like things were lining up for her. But I don't remember hearing her complain. I don't remember her making a big deal out of it.
So many women talk about the glass ceiling, and they're right there. They can see through the ceiling. But the reason they don't want to punch through is that they perceive that all of that effort that it took to get there, the 20, 25, or 30 years, that they're going to have to do that all over again to push through that ceiling. And here's the deal. What it takes to push through that ceiling is a fraction, a small fraction of what you have already done.
See, most people are spending their time, effort, money, resources, goals, trying to change the stuff in their life. And while that's fine, we're here to create. We're born to create as human beings. We're born to go on and experience and do stuff. But if you're trying to do it in order to change the color of what's in the glass without changing the color of the glass, you're going to be on a hamster wheel to nowhere, running east looking for that sunset.
We're so plugged in. We're so plugged into the physical world, and we have to be. We've got to be. We've got to obey the laws of physics. We've got to deal with the economics of our circumstances. You know, we have to make our way through life. All of those things we've got to do. But if they become our total focus, we become shut off from everything and anything else that may exist.
How do you get muscles? You lift heavy okay? Like how do you be able to run 20 miles? You start trying to run, all right? You got to understand that your discipline is a skill set that has to be cultivated and trained in order for it to work.
What does the next chapter of my life look like? You need to look for that. That's not just going to happen. It has to be intentional. You have to make a conscious, deliberate, determined effort to die to who you are now, to make a radical change, to give birth to who you were chosen to be.
That coming from nothing and having that fear of losing it all is a fucking gift. That is a gift. You just don't realize it because it causes you anxiety, but it doesn't actually cause you anxiety. It causes you to go hard. It causes you to keep working. It causes you to keep building and thinking bigger and bigger and bigger. And that is the greatest insurance that you're going to have against losing what it is that you have.
And if you're somebody who's dealing with a health diagnosis like cancer or any health diagnosis for that matter, can you know that mindsets like this is manageable? Your body is capable, that those mindsets are well within your grasp.
So why do the dogs run? They run because they're chasing a mechanical rabbit. The question is, do they ever catch the rabbit? No. What if they run really fast?
No. They want to speed up the rabbit.
Speed up the rabbit. What if they have a better trainer?
Speed up the rabbit still, yeah.
Sleep in a better kennel? I mean, it's no, right? So the reason the dogs don't catch the rabbit is because by design, they can never catch the rabbit.
And this is not another podcaster that says, oh, you're enough. No, the fuck you aren't.
No.
Okay, you could be, but you ain't right now. And that's what you got to realize, okay? You are a raw fucking piece of granite that has not been chiseled out yet. And you need to get the fucking hammer in so that you can chisel out what the fuck you're trying to create. And then once that thing is sculpted, people appreciate it. Nobody appreciates a big block of granite when it's just sitting there.
The whole aspect of Buy Me is competition. It's effort, it's force, it's go wrestle reality to the ground to try to make it fit my pictures. Through Me is where you move your center of gravity from control to observation. You're allowing something smarter than you to do the heavy lifting because your frequency is aligned with what it is that you want, not focus on what you don't want.
Right.
It takes everything you got. You have to be willing to give things up. You're gonna lose relationships. You're gonna lose friends. You're gonna lose fucking a lot of shit to be successful. You're gonna pass up on a lot of shit. And you're gonna have to do that for a really long time. And that entire time that you're doing it, you're gonna have to wonder if it's ever gonna work out. Very few people are actually set up to just hammer and hammer and hammer and hammer and never know if it's actually going to materialize.
But now you go to the doctor and he says, that chest scan we just did, you have one more cigarette, you could suffer a fatal stroke. Now you didn't suddenly become smarter. You didn't suddenly get the warnings into focus. No, you went from an intellectual to an emotional understanding, and that is where behavior starts to change. Behavior doesn't change at the intellectual level.